Drink our gluten-free San Francisco Spirit award-winning vodka and see why it's the smoothest vodka you can buy. When you drink Brackish Vodka, you support all of our local employees and all the money stays in Jacksonville. Drink Brackish Vodka and live life slightly salty. Proud partner of the Jaguars.
If you're about to order a floral arrangement for someone you love, then take it from me, 1010XL's JJ LaSalva. Use Kuhn Flowers. That's right, Kuhn Flowers. For over 75 years, Kuhn Flowers gets it done right.
I'm RJ Saunders with your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. For 1010XL, Florida men's basketball announced its 2024-25 non-conference slate, ushering the Gators' third campaign under head coach Todd Golden. The schedule includes 6 matchups versus in-state foes and plenty of opportunities for fans from around the state and the region to see the Gators in action, with 11 games in Florida, along with dates in Atlanta and Charlotte. Florida's going to tip off its season on November 4th in Jacksonville against USF, while the Gators welcome Jacksonville University for their home opener. That'll be Thursday, November the 7th. College Football Network has selected 8 Florida Gators from the football team to the publication's All-SEC teams. Names included Eugene Wilson III, who was named to their All-SEC third team. 86 degrees at 2 o'clock, time in 10, brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Attention.
They are not ready for prime time.
Prime time. That's the name.
Prime time.
What time is it? Showtime, prime time.
It's XL Primetime. Featuring Joe C.
I would clean that bone about as good as anything.
Matt Hayes.
The guys they had last year, terrible.
And Leon Searcy.
Mama know that when you get to camp, you ain't gonna see a lot of Big Daddy.
How you like me now? How you like me now?
We are inching closer and closer to some real ball. I guess you could call it real ball. It's real exhibition football in the Bank, Everbank Stadium, Saturday night with your Jacksonville Jaguars against the defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. We'll tell you, in fact, how much we will see the starters from Kansas City coming up here in just a sec. But welcome in. It is a Golf Club of Southampton Wednesday, minus Big Searcy's on vacation this week, but it's me and Maddie along with RJ, and we got plenty to get into. As a matter of fact, I was just painting the picture, getting ready for the show. How cool is it? At Everbank Stadium, got the Mecca on one side, which is where the Jaguars practice facility is, indoors and outdoors, and they're working their fannies off. And on the other side of the complex, the flex field at Daly's Place, is FSU, an undefeated FSU team that got left out of the college football playoff last year. And they normally come over, Matt, for 2 practices in early Aug, and they go to the campus of UNF, and I've been there every year. You've been there. And so I was looking forward to it. And with the Hurricane Debbie coming in, I guess it soaked some of the campus over at UNF.
Yeah, the field was flogged, basically.
Yeah, and it just didn't allow for it.
Right,
so they went into the flex field, which I don't think could have worked out better for us.
It was, I'll tell you what, a lot of fun. Completely different practices.
Yeah.
And again, I get it. You're talking about 18 to 22, 21, 22-year-olds, and the other practice you're talking about literally grown men.
Right.
But it's fun to see. They run the same drills.
Mm-hmm.
They run the same drills.
Yeah.
But it's just different to see how they're run and how the coaches run them, how they motivate players differently. It's fun to see it. It's a dynamic that's just interesting. I will say this: Florida State looks good, boy. Man, do they look good. They got some big bodies. The first thing I always look at in college, really in the NFL too, but more so in college, is the lines of scrimmage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you've got those big grown men on the lines of scrimmage, you've got a chance to win some games. And they have got some dudes on that line of scrimmage. And Mark Long from the AP, he and I were out there. We were taking that in, and Marvin Jones Jr., Marvin's dad is a regular on our show. His son walked by.
Yeah.
And my God, he looks like Josh Allen. Well, he's a specimen, man.
Okay, he's interesting because he's a guy that didn't pan out in another place.
Well, just didn't get time. He was stuck on the depth chart beyond another 5-star.
Because that's how good Georgia is and where he was. Didn't allow for it. Not unlike Jermaine Johnson, who also left Athens, went to Tallahassee, ultimately played his way into, first off, a starter's role, and then a high draft pick because of it. And so it's not like it can't happen. Just because you left one school and didn't have playing time and come to another doesn't mean you still can't be a success.
Oh, he's a dude. Yeah. He's going to be a dude.
Yeah. And so, all right, so
he
here's
and
the
Peyton
thing.
together, Peyton is the real deal.
Right.
I mean, and Peyton is bigger now. You know, he was kind of that. He was a little bit. I guess I wouldn't call him lanky. I would have called him sinewy last year.
Right.
You know, he's one of those skinny/strong guys last year. He's filled out a little bit. He's not the size of Marvin Jones Jr., but he's still filled out a little bit. And inside the interior on defensive line, my God, they're like three deep.
Well, they do look.
As in 6 players deep.
Yeah. They do look like they've got talent. And matter of fact, Irish Chaffel, who was also out there, was able to get a little audio from Marvin Jr., so we'll make sure that we hear a little bit from him. And then obviously we'll hear from Mike Norvell as well. If we can get one of the other players, we will definitely do that. But back and forth we went. And the one thing about Florida State, let's just set this up and spend a little bit of time on this, and then we'll slide back over to the Jag camp, is that FSU is going to go as far as DJU can take them. That's pretty simple.
Safe.
But they are a deep football team in some areas, particularly on the defensive side. They've got a good offensive line, and they've got a good running back room. And so DJU isn't necessarily going to have to do everything, but you do get what I'm saying. If he's successful, they're successful. If he's not, they're not. That's just how I got to look at this.
I mean, there's no doubt about that. I also think you're underselling the offensive line. They're going to be really good on the offensive line.
Yeah.
And you look at them, what they can do. Roy Williams was a good player at Alabama. He just couldn't get the carries. There was 3 other backs there getting time. So he's going to be a player for them this year. Like, he's a good running back. and I know they've lost receivers, but I'm telling you, I mean, they've got guys out there that can play. Malik Benson's a player.
Yeah.
I think Akeem Williams, if he gets healthy, he's going to be a player for them.
All right, just remember this, okay? And Seminole fans, you may have got a Benson in your brain because you had one coming out of your backfield. Now just go ahead and reprogram your mind to keep Benson in your head just at the wide receiver spot.
He's another Alabama guy who, again, was stuck behind a 5-star.
And this dude made a couple plays today, a go up and get it type of play. And if DJU can just throw it into a catch radius area, Malik Benson's going to be one of those guys.
He was last year the #1 JC player. And a lot of people thought he was, if you added the JC guys into the high school guys and the entire, all of the recruits, that he was a top 10 recruit.
Right.
So he just couldn't get on the field. I don't know, for whatever reason, couldn't get on the field at Alabama. But he's a dude. I mean, he's got potential. So, I mean, I look at them and, look, I've been saying all summer that I think the Georgia Tech game is going to be a war, and I still think that way. By the way, 17 days away. T-line is 17 days from that game.
17 days and about 13 or 14 points between them.
Right.
We'll find out.
The line, I think, is still 13.5, which, man, I would take those points all day long. I just think Georgia Tech's much better than people think they are, and Haynes King is a really good player. He's going to keep them in that game in the fourth quarter. I don't think Georgia Tech's going to beat him, but I think it's going to be a lot closer than people think.
And I think you should know the name Haynes King. The Rambo wreck from Georgia Tech, they're aware of him, but he's a guy that had a crick in his leg. As Jimbo described it, and he left Texas A&M, and he went to Georgia Tech, and he played his fanny off last year.
We got to get that cut.
Oh,
we
my
have
gosh,
to.
yeah.
Jimbo. He got a crick in his leg.
Got a crick in his leg. RJ, maybe we can use that for breaking bones on a weekly basis, so we can at least kind of give the diagnosis. But that's exactly how he diagnosed his quarterback, Haynes King. And Haynes left, and this is when they had – did they have Max Johnson there at the time? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah.
No, was it?
Yeah.
Okay, it might have been. And so anyway, they, of course, had Connor Wigman coming in and all that kind of stuff.
No, Max was like, they did not.
Yeah, he was at LSU, and then he went over there, and he's gone again.
Have, actually. I don't know. I don't think they did, actually. Yeah. Anyway, whatever.
Yeah. And
he left for Georgia Tech, got to Georgia Tech last year, and developed into an elite player over the second half of the season.
Yeah, I've got...
he developed into the player that Jimbo Fisher believed he always could be. Yeah. You're talking about a guy who was a Texas State Player of the Year, led his team to an undefeated season in high school. That's a big deal in the state of Texas.
Yes,
if you lead your team to an undefeated state season, I believe Class 5A he was.
Yeah.
So if you do that, like, that's important. And Jimbo always thought he could be an elite player in the SEC. He just for whatever reason. I mean, it was injuries, obviously, and then he just was always battling with someone else for the job. And Jimbo had no patience because it was at the point where Jimbo needed to win and needed to win right now.
Yeah. I could make this a Corona call, but I'll just go ahead and give it away right now. Who led the ACC in touchdown passes last year?
I'm going to say Haynes King.
Yeah.
27, right?
With 27, and that's ahead of Drake May, who had just 25. And so anyway, this
guy also had 10 rush, by the way.
Yeah, this guy can play. He threw a bunch of picks too. Led the league in interceptions as well. But still, the bottom line is that FSU is not going to catch a napping, rambling wreck from Georgia Tech.
No.
And they're both going to go over there, unfamiliar surroundings, and it's going to set up for a great game. So if you're a Noles fan, if you happen to be out at practice today, because there were a few, let's just call them Seminole dignitaries that were there, you can hit the text line at 641-1010. You can jump in on that subject. Now, let's get over to the other side. Talk to Tank Bigsby. We'll have that interview coming up in just a little bit. But this football team, along with the Kansas City Chiefs, are going to roll on Saturday night. As a matter of fact, RJ, hit it right now.
That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Now, Doug Peterson's already basically said he sees a series or two for his offensive guys, his starters, as many as he can get in, and then he wants to see the backups. This is not a real big shock, but at least Andy Reid just came out and said it. His offensive players, including Pat Mahomes, we will see for a series or two. I think that's what Jaguar fans want to see.
Oh, I thought it was more than that.
Yeah.
He said a series or two?
Well, he said basically a quarter.
A quarter,
is
right.
what he's looking at. And that's usually a couple of series, depending on what they do.
Unless you get a 3 and out on the defense.
Yeah, it's true. But a series, let's just call it about a quarter of play.
Right.
And that means you're going to see Pat Mahomes. You're going to see Travis Kelce. You're going to see, you're going to see that X-Worthy as a top draft pick. You're going to see a combination of whatever they have along that offensive line that they're going to try and keep going with. And then you're going to see Paco in the backfield.
Yeah.
Isaiah Pacheco. So Jacksonville should have their starters out for, let's just call it a couple series.
You see Juwan out there.
Yeah.
Going up against Trayvon.
Which would be nice. I would like to see that. Saw Trayvon interiorly today, and he still is working on those inside moves on down and distance situations that will allow him to go after the passer. I do like what I've seen from him so far this training camp, for sure.
On the inside.
Yeah. Both.
Yeah, he's an outside guy,
now
that they're. I know that, yeah, but I mean, especially now that they're in an even front. I mean, mainly because who are you going to put out there if he moves inside, even on pass situations?
I think this could be, and Coach will probably give us a little intel on this later in the week. But this is when it's that. I always like to refer back to that lightning package. When it's a 3rd and 12, it's 100% a passing down,
right?
And you might even have a Devin Lloyd outside or a Yasir, somebody like that outside. You got Josh on one side, you kick Trayvon inside, and you were just balls to the wall to the quarterback. And he has been doing some work interiorly. He definitely has, and I don't mind it at all. I like the look of it. All right, so you Jaguar fans, if you were out there today as well, because you kind of got left out Sunday and Monday with the weather. And then the team was off yesterday, so you were back at it today. So if you saw anything, 641-1010, you can jump in on that front. We say thanks to the Golf Club of Southampton. It is back on. The weather, thankfully Hurricane Debbie moved through. Not a lot hit us hard. Definitely some rain, soaked a lot of dry earth, right? We needed that rain, so we'll take that. But you got the 9 after 5 cranking again tonight, so you can call the Pro Shop 287-PLAY and get on the tee sheet this afternoon a little after 5. You got a 9-hole game. You got some food afterwards. Always great to catch up with buds and family, whatever it might be. So call the Golf Club of Southampton. So we'll stay on the Jags, stay on the Noles. We definitely have some Florida practice notes that we want to get to. It's all ahead on XL Primetime.
The First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL. Now, a 1010XL Summer Olympic Update brought to you by USAPark.net Airport Parking.
Westwood One Sports presents this special update on the 2024 Summer Games. Gold medal number 25 for the United States in Paris, and it comes in the velodrome. The U.S. holds off New Zealand by 0.6 of a second in the cycling event women's team pursuit. Former venture capitalist Kristen Faulkner wins her second gold of these games to go with her victory in the road race. Men's water polo quarterfinals, Team USA on top of Australia 6-5 in the fourth quarter. The U.S. is down a key player. This isn't Mortal Kombat, but Johnny Hooper got called for a brutality foul for punching an opponent and was ejected. The winner will play Serbia in the semifinals. To the track, 3 Americans qualify for the final in the men's 110-meter hurdles. Grant Holloway, Freddie Crittenden, and Daniel Roberts. Holloway had the fastest time in the semis. The final is tomorrow. With this Summer Games update, I'm Ted Emmerich, Westwood One Sports.
Broken bricks, falling fences, damaged doors, Gorilla Glue. Of course. It's incredibly strong and 100% waterproof and bonds, well, virtually everything. While you're at it, look for Gorilla Tape, a heavy-duty double-thick duct tape, and Gorilla Super Glue, great for all your quick fixes and repairs. There's also Gorilla Epoxy, Gorilla Wood Glue, Gorilla Construction Adhesive, of course. You get it. If you can break it, Gorilla can fix it. For the toughest jobs on planet Earth.
Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate. And look at you, hands perfectly placed on the wheel. Not like the driver to the right of you who's really going after that drum solo. Save with DriveWise and the Allstate app and only pay a rate based on you.
Not available in every state, subject to terms and conditions. Rating factors and savings vary, and in some states your rate could increase with high-risk driving. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
What makes a Honda certified pre-owned vehicle so special? 182-point inspection, 24/7 roadside assistance, first-year free oil changes, and a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty for carefree driving backed by American Honda. Visit your local Honda dealer today.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
I'm Mark Cohen, new publisher of the Jacksonville Business Journal, and I'm thrilled to rejoin the community. This event of the year is quickly approaching. The Fast 50 Award celebrates the fastest-growing companies in Northeast Florida, August 15th at 3:30. Join us for an unforgettable afternoon of mingling with Northeast Florida trailblazers, high-level networking, and learning where these companies stand. Time is ticking and tickets are flying off the shelf, so grab yours before August 13th. JBJEvents.com.
Jags fans, a new Everbank Performance account could be your ticket to London this October. Through the Everbank London Getaway, one lucky winner and a guest will receive round-trip airfare, hotel accommodations, and a pair of tickets to see the Jags play in London. To learn more and for official rules, visit everbank.com/London. No person necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents of 50 United States and D.C. 18 or older. Entry period for the Everbank London Getaway Suites is from 8/5/24 to 9/5/24. To enter and for official rules, alternate method of entry, prize description, odds of winning, and other details, visit everbank.com/London. Sponsor and administrator, Everbank N.A.
The best game day parking in all of Duval is at Tailgaters Parking. Are you ready for some football? Tailgaters is just steps away on the east side of the stadium. Visit tailgatorsparking.com and secure your season parking pass today.
The Drill takes you inside the ropes with PGA Tour insiders on Brunch with the Tour.
Yeah, that's a good spot to be.
Tuesday morning at 8:30.
Brought to you by
Clearwater Irrigation. Brunch provided by Chick-fil-A on 1010XL.
Are you an annoying coworker? Sending emails when everyone else is sleeping? Do they ask, how do you sleep at night? Then you should go to Mattress Firm. They have knowledgeable sleep experts that can help you find a better bed, like a Tempur-Pedic. It has technology to keep you cool at night, meaning anyone, even people like you, can sleep. Get matched at Mattress Firm. Sleep at night. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
Mark Watson here to tell you a little bit about hardballcreative.com. It's your online promo haven with thousands of ideas on how to promote your company. We're open 24/7, 365.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
Homeowners, good news for you. Accent on 4. Listen up. Loan Pronto now has mortgage rates that start with a 4. Prosser here. It's true. Mortgage rates have plummeted. so low we haven't seen them in a long time. If your current rate is over 6%, you can dump it and lower your house payment big time. Loan Pronto just locked in a homeowner at 4.99% APR. So whether you got your loan last week, last month, or last year, it's time to call Loan Pronto. Even if you're in process with another lender, stop now. Call Loan Pronto. Ask about their zero-cost rate reduction home loan. You can lock in a lower rate with no closing costs in a matter of days, with almost no paperwork and usually no appraisal. And if you act now, you can even skip your next 2 house payments. Call now. Loan Pronto can give you a rate quote in minutes with no hard credit pull and no upfront fees like those other guys. Call 904-999-1508 or loanpronto.com. Call 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. Owner approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. Summer's here, so let's talk about something sizzling, making a Bacon 180 with a Waken 180. Imagine dropping pounds while still enjoying that crisp, savory goodness. Well, it's on the menu at Awaken 180, and one of the many reasons I lost 40 pounds in 9 weeks on Awaken 180 weight loss. I did it all while still enjoying so many of my favorite foods. The difference is, my coach showed me how to enjoy those foods the right way. Chicken, steak, pork, lobster, they're all on the menu. Awaken 180 caters to any diet or taste profile, vegetarian, vegan, omnivore, even flexitarian. I'm not kidding. That's a thing. They're all covered. The bottom line, if you want to lose weight fast and safe and keep it off with lifetime coaching, then make your own Bacon 180 with Awaken 180. Do what I did, Mike Dempsey and Hacker, and more than 21,000 others online at awaken180weightloss.com. That's awaken180weightloss.com.
Hidden Hills Golf Club invites you to bring your friends out and enjoy our spectacular golf course, which is carved out of some of the highest elevations in North Florida. Hidden Hills Golf Club, unlike any other. Check us out, hiddenhillsgc.com.
Atlantic Self Storage, the official storage partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Need to make room to watch football in your home or need a place to park your boat or RV? Store it all at Atlantic Self Storage. Over 50 locations in Northeast Florida. 24-hour access, all with month-to-month leases. Moving, they can help with supplies. They make storage easy. Go to AtlanticSelfStorage.com or call 877-WE-STORE to find a storage solution near you. Go Jags!
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is XL Primetime, brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
2 o'clock hours here, 20 minutes after Joe C., Matt Hayes, R.J. Saunders, Leon enjoying some vacation down in the Virgin Islands. We hope you guys are enjoying. Well, I walked outside just a second ago, and I actually did enjoy a little sun. It went from not to hot, though, just like that.
It's out now.
Oh, my God.
Which is awesome. I love it.
It just went from not to hot.
Right, quickly.
And that's how it goes. The humidity comes along with that beautiful sunshine, and so we will happily take it on a golf club of Southampton Wednesday. So if you are looking for that sun as a chief indicator that you can come out this afternoon and enjoy a little 9 after 5. I saw it. You can believe it. So make plans to come on out. You know, one other thing I got to get into, especially for you Augie dogs, you guys maybe can help with this one on the text line. We all have seen this beach renourishment that's taking place, right? Yeah. Up and down Jack's Beach.
Is that what they're calling it?
I guess it's the renourishment, I believe. I don't know what the exact name is, but they're basically bringing all the dredging and bringing the sand in and basically creating bigger beaches. Anyway, the comical part was at the St. Augustine Beach Pier, they had a pier that you could go and pay, I don't know how much, $1.50, something like that. And you could carry your little fishing bucket, your bait, your poles, your nose coat, and you could go out onto the pier and you could catch yourself a line, see if you couldn't catch you, I don't know, a mackerel or something like that.
Carp.
And they put so much sand on that beach, that pier was basically just a viewing area for the sand below because there was no water that it could reach. Well, just
even on high tide.
Well, see, that's the thing. That's why I'm asking. Maybe some Augie dogs can educate me. TLD shoots me a little thing earlier and says, beachgoers surprised to see St. Augustine Beach Pier touching water again. Because it actually is, see it? It's now actually stretching out.
Wow, how about that?
To the water. So if you guys, especially it could be Jack's Beach Pier, wherever, 641-1010, let us know. Because I did crack up. Because you walk out now to the beach, you feel like you're on an island. Because it's a good couple of football fields to the water on low tide.
Jack's Beach.
Any of them right now.
Yeah, Jack's Beach, that's a long pier now.
Yeah.
That goes way out.
But just the actual beach itself with all the renourishment that they've been doing. All right. So this football team, we just mentioned it, coming into this game Saturday night, how big it's going to be. This team, you could easily use the word renourishment because they had to renourish the depth of this football team. Now, we were out at practice today, and we've been talking about a lot of different guys and trying to figure out which of these guys is ready to flash. So I'm walking off the field with Tommy Mack. You hear him Fridays on Jaguars Today. You get Tommy Mack with the podcast as he breaks it down. And he had just a quick little conversation. I'm sure he'll share it on Friday and with his pod. But he was talking to Trent Baalke, and just talking about the intensity of the practice, the available bodies that are making plays now, the competition that has been ramped up. There's a lot that you can dig into. I don't know how great it will be compared to the rest of the AFC South, but there is no question in my mind, Matt, there's more good on good and more competition out there.
I think there's definitely more competition. There's no doubt about it. To the level of what it can be translating to games, I don't know yet. I mean, that's the $64,000 question, man. I mean, are you going to see this kind of intensity at a high level in the game, or is this just, as we say all along, is it jag on jag?
Yeah, is it jag good?
Yeah, so that's the big question, because it's a lot of times it's that. Well, and look, I get it, and I know they've done everything they can to upgrade the roster, but you talked about refurbishing. I mean, honestly, they needed to refurbish their want, their desire, their heart as well, just as much as the actual guys on the field, because you don't let a season like that slip away the way it did in the last month and a half of the season. And you can talk all you want about injuries, but at some point you got to step up and somebody's got to grab a hold of that team and get a win that you need to get to the playoffs.
The big theme that I've been on, they couldn't get a third one and they couldn't stop a third one.
Yeah.
And then the other theme that I've been on
is that want right there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. In a lot of ways it is. And then the other part of it, though, is that they were physically whooped. Okay? They went into a 6-week stretch where they were physically beaten 5 out of 6 times. And so that's why I think there's a major, major point of emphasis this training camp on being tougher, getting those tough yards, putting in that extra hard work. Now I think Doug is dialing it back just a little bit. They've hit hard. They might hit hard again next week against Tampa, but they needed to get that work in to make sure they were tougher in those situations late in the year. So we'll keep on that, but let's hit that right now, RJ.
That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
This is sad news, but it's inevitable with camps. It just is. College football, Texas sophomore tailback C.J. Baxter injured the LCL and PCL in his right knee and will require surgery. He will miss the entire 2024 season. That's a big blow to Texas. He's a talented player.
Yeah, and when you hear those and you do not hear the LCL very often, if at all.
And the PCL.
And the PCL, which we know can be very significant. That's for sure. Oh, that sucks.
That's not good for Texas. But that's where we are right now in camp. You're going to see more of this stuff, and you hope it's not your team. You don't hope it's not for any team, actually. But this is what you're going to see. I mean, honestly, the Jags have had their share of injuries. They've been very lucky, too.
Yeah. Well, you figure the shoulder for Cam, it looks like he was over it fairly fast. We saw other guys. We've now seen DeJuan Dixon go down twice, which is not good.
Dewey's really the only significant injury.
Yeah, and Murtaugh, but he's a backup.
Right.
And even though Dewey is not a starting safety, he was an integral part of that defense, that's for sure.
And I'm not even sure Murtaugh would make the team anyway.
Right. So he was way down, and he was the international man of mystery. They were able to bring him in with the international program from Australia, and he was out there today with it all. it looked like it's a hard cast, but anyway, it had the bandage around it.
Yeah. I mean, my point is there's no starter that has been injured for this team, and that's going to miss significant time, and you're now 3 weeks into camp. That's very good. You're very fortunate there.
They haven't played a
Knock
game
on
yet.
wood.
Yeah, haven't played a game yet, so you hope they get through that as well. Off the text line, I got to read this. St. Augustine Pier was high and dry last week, but the erosion this week now has the pier over some water. So there you go. That's the same thing that they're preparing for is that erosion. And here we had Hurricane Debbie, and it wasn't perhaps as intense as maybe
wasn't
other
anywhere
areas.
near St. Aug.
Yeah, it didn't really hit.
Yeah.
It didn't hit that bad. It rained for a while, but anyway, that's what they were kind of guarding against. That's for sure. All right, so let's bounce back to the Knolls and then work in a couple of other college football pieces as we get into this next seg, because we want to toggle back and forth between Jacksonville getting ready for the Chiefs and then FSU week 0 playing Georgia Tech over in Ireland. And this is a football team practicing here today and tomorrow. And definitely one of the teams talking about the college football playoff. Had a little bit of a discussion with let's just call him a college dignitary about where this college football playoff could go, how stoked everyone is, and how quickly it could change, which will set you up perfectly for just how long will it be before the top 4 seeds have a home game as well. So let's set that up coming up here in just a second. It is XL Primetime. We got the coaches preseason poll that came out a couple days ago. The AP poll is coming out on Monday. Oh, it's on for all of you college football fans.
Buckle up. You're in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios with XL Primetime on 1010XL. Find your new Honda at your 8 local Honda dealers.
Mia here, and it's the sale that's sweeping the nation. It's the national sales event, and it's going on now at Arlington Toyota. Arlington's lot is packed with new Toyotas in stock in one location. Plus, at Arlington, every new purchase comes with Arlington's lifetime warranty and 60-day exchange program. Worried about financing? There's the Arlington Credit Helper. You even get a complimentary car wash with every service. Don't wait. Now through September 3rd, shop the national sales event at Arlington Toyota. In person, 10939 Lansing Boulevard or at arlingtontoyota.com.
Certainly facing challenging economic times. I can't speak for all of us, but for me, comforting to know my money is in good hands with ITP Partners. Ticket here for ITP Partners. Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. I'll admit it, I don't understand a ton about the economy. Higher interest rates, 401ks, but I do know as I move closer to retirement, I continue to watch my money grow. Thanks to Chris Bryan, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, and Reed Wingate. Get in the game, guys. ITP Partners, always there to help. For more info, Chris at ITPPartners.com or call 904-312-9751.
Mia here, and we've all been there before. A weekend trip to the casino? Canceled because real life came calling. MyBookie's new and improved online casino is here to change the game. Dive into a truly realistic casino experience featuring the latest in slots, progressive jackpots, and live dealer action, all from the comfort of your own home. The live casino is so easy to use. Just go to MyBookie and click Live Casino at the top. You'll find live dealers ready to deal or spin just like you're at the casino. The MyBookie Casino provides a Las Vegas experience when the action's in the palm of your hands and you don't even need to wear pants. Start at MyBookie today with a generous sign-up bonus using promo code 1010XL. A revamped loyalty program ensures a host of exclusive VIP perks. Sign up and hit the casino with promo code 1010XL. The more you play, the more you win, only with MyBookie.
Lauren Brooks here from Mayport CNC Fisheries. At my house, we had a feast from Mayport CNC Fisheries with the freshest shrimp around, and it was unbelievable. They also have oysters, scallops, mahi, and so much more. Want to eat like a local? Head to the beach and visit my friends at Mayport CNC Fisheries.
Daytona always brings the drama.
Everything's on the line. The risk will be higher.
3 wide.
Look how insane this is.
Gunning to keep playoff hopes alive. It's now or never.
It's the most stressful night of racing that you'll ever go through.
For an unforgettable weekend of family fun, high wattage star power, and a front row seat full of fireworks. NASCAR weekend at Daytona International Speedway, August 23rd and 24th. Get your tickets now at DaytonaInternationalSpeedway.com.
Get your athletes game day ready with Injury Care Centers. Kick off the upcoming sports season with their $69 Peak Performance Physical. It identifies strengths and weaknesses in muscles and body mechanics, tapping into the power of AI technology. Help your athlete run faster, throw harder, and jump higher at Injury Care Centers. Elevate their game from the inside out. Call Injury Care Centers today, 904-783-0008. That's 904-783-0008.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On August 7, 2007, San Francisco Giants slugger Barry Bonds hits his 756th career home run, breaking Hank Aaron's MLB record.
This is Hayes Carline for Kingfish Pest Control, a local family-owned business that's been chosen as the exclusive pest control provider for the brand new state-of-the-art Miller Electric Performance Center. As a Kingfish customer myself, I know their effectiveness in keeping spiders, roaches, bugs, and termites out. When I trust them for my family and the Jags trust them for their business, then you can too. For the best service in town, call my friends at Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Ever wonder how you can transform your living spaces into captivating works of art? At First Coast Lighting and Fans, they offer a huge selection of high-quality products to match your desire for elegance, quality, and uniqueness. Visit their showroom on Phillips Highway at the Avenues and step into a world of quality without compromise. Discover the difference that locally owned expertise makes and let them help you experience the transformation from average to extraordinary. At First Coast Lighting and Fans.
Hey, it's Joe C. My friends at CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living can elevate your grilling experience with a durable, high-end grill from great brands like Coyote, DCS, Alfresco, and American Made, and make an outdoor kitchen custom-built to your taste and lifestyle. Visit their local showroom and see all the new displays at CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living.
You dream it, we build it. CSS.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? If you have questions, call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700, offices Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
This is Dr. Steve Crenshaw, Assistant Team Physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jaguars brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Defensive coordinator Ryan Nielsen spoke extremely highly of rookie defensive tackle Mason Smith's rapid improvement he has been seeing day to day.
His improvement, that's been the biggest thing. From OTAs to the first day to 2 days ago, the improvement of the player is him understanding and playing defensive tackle. It's a lot of same as blocks, angles of departure, things like that with the guard, pass sets. Actually, really good pass rusher. I mean, he's done a good job in the pass rush game, but just understanding how we play.
The second-round pick, who is shaping up to be a young stud, will get plenty of reps against new offense when they face the Chiefs for preseason opener on Saturday night. Catch the action here on 1010XL with pregame coverage at 2 and kick at 7. I'm Max Fink with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
So a little history for Noah Lyles, if he can keep it going, books his spot in the men's 200-meter finals. He has advanced. So we'll find out whether or not he can double up. And the torso won him the gold in the 100-meter because that's how they score it when it comes to 100-meter dash. And we'll see if he can do it again in the 200 meters. He finished second in the semifinal heat. So good on Noah Lyles as he has a chance to see if he can play on for another gold.
Our next guest is not affiliated with the NFL or Jacksonville Jaguars.
Discussion of injuries is solely based on opinion.
Now, the Bari Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Injury Breakdown.
I'm coming in hot.
His name is Dr. George Bari. I like to call him Gio. He answers to it as well. Fellowship trained under the renowned Dr. James Andrews. He of Bari Orthopedics. Gio, how you doing, man?
Hey, man. What's going on?
Montrell Johnson for the Florida Gators is a significant injury, especially when you think when college football kicks off, Gio, there are no preseason, no exhibition. This counts, especially against Miami, a big ball game. Anyway, over the weekend, they said he had a procedure, arthroscopic procedure on his knee, a scope on his knee. So first off, define what a scope on a knee is, and then we can go from there.
It's, a couple poke holes. You go in there with a camera and then an instrument. You clean up, take care of whatever it is. You could do an arthroscopy. You can do that for an ACL, a PCL, a meniscus repair, or a meniscectomy. So arthroscopy or scope is the general term. It's a type of surgery, and then there's specific types of things you can do with that.
But Gio, it's also the phrasing of it. Like the key word there is expect. They expect him to be ready for the Miami game. Yeah, that leaves a little wiggle room, does it not?
So he had a surgery yesterday?
Yeah, well, it was actually over the weekend. So they said the 3rd or the 4th. And again, we're just guessing the 3rd or the 4th.
Right. So that's going to be about 4 weeks, end of the month.
Yeah.
Look, I'll say this. Usually we don't, and there's studies on this for athletes, about 6 to 8 weeks is kind of when you gradually return. That's kind of the safe zone. His is going to be 4 weeks. Has it happened? Yeah, we've definitely seen athletes come back at 4 weeks. I think it's a little quick, but it's possible. I don't think it's highly recommended, but you can do it depending how you feel, and that's why, maybe they left some wiggle room, but they expect him not. He's for sure coming back, and don't be shocked if he does play and then a few plays and then kind of sits back out again.
I think it's the phrasing is what gets me, because if you think he's going to play and there's no doubt he's going to play, you're going to say he'll be ready on the 31st.
Look, 4 weeks.
If you're saying we expect him to be ready.
4 weeks is soon. It's a little bit too soon, to be honest.
And by the way, I'm having a discussion with Mike Duraco from ESPN at Jaguars practice earlier today, because I never trust any college football coach to ever disclose the truth about injuries. And they're now, Gio, being forced, at least the chatter is, the SEC is going to ask their schools to have an injury report beginning this college football season.
It's not ask, it's a demand. Now it's going to happen.
It is a demand now?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so we're going to find out if that actually happens, because they don't want to tell you anything. But this much, at least in Matt and I's history, some guys have been able to come back in 3 weeks from arthro, from a scope on a knee. And then you're just talking about mobility, the cutting ability for a running back.
Look, you can do it. It's just not super common and not highly recommended.
Right.
But the biggest thing is if your quad strength is back and you have painless range of motion, that's a big indicator. Most people, once they have a surgery, their quad shuts down for a couple of weeks, and it takes a couple weeks to get it back to normal.
All right, so Titus Howard, Texans offensive lineman, offensive tackle, carted off the field during practice. He left last season in Week 12 with a knee injury. Texans are not saying what it is, what the injury is. In fact, he tweeted out after the practice, I was something along the lines of, I was carted off, ? I thought I walked off, which is just bizarre even of itself. So,
is it the same knee?
I don't know. They're not saying what it is, but he was carted off.
But for him to say, I thought I walked.
He left. My guess is what he's saying is they helped him off the field. He got to the tent. Then they got him on the cart and carted him off the field.
Yeah, maybe.
So, if you're carting somebody off the field from the tent, certainly that's an issue then, correct?
Yes, right.
Right.
Then it's
and quote, one of the Houston sources is saying he might be having a, quote, setback.
What kind of surgery did he have?
Knee surgery.
What kind did he have before?
It doesn't say. It just says he was out.
Yeah,
out of the 12th week.
A setback, needing a cart from the tent. So usually you get a cart from the tent if you think that there's a bad, especially if there's a fracture, you don't want them to walk for sure.
Right.
Cart them, or severe knee instability. You're like, hey, better
that was
that
kind of
you don't
my point,
walk.
Yeah. So this could be.
Yeah.
Look. At the end of the day, is the guy going to play? What is it? Week 3 against the Jags, right, Joe, or Week 4? Week 4.
I guess it depends what his problem is, right?
It's within the first
That's all
month.
anybody in this city cares about, man.
It's within the first month of the season.
Right.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. And then the other part of it is that, you're talking about a 330-pound man, Gio, and you're putting a lot on that knee. Whether it was the previously surgically repaired knee or a new injury, it ain't easy, man. So he had a season-ending knee injury in Week 12 last season.
I mean, look, it sounds like to me it's maybe the same knee if they said there's a setback, right? Usually you use those terms for a previous injury. And then it's obviously very vague what's going on with him.
Plus, you're not. I guess my whole point is, Gio, is as a team physician, as a guy working in that tent, you're not putting him on that cart unless you are concerned something.
There's two
wrong.
reasons you're going on a cart. Something's really bad, or they're saying it hurts so much I just can't walk on it, even if you don't think there's something terrible. Right.
Which either way is not good.
Right.
Yeah, honestly, when you think about it like that, it is a terrible, terrible thing for a guy. And like we said before this, by the way, in September, he also suffered a broken hand during practice. So we're talking about a hell of a lot that you have to deal with. All right, so I feel like when you're talking about seeing the enemy like that, I don't want them to be at their weakest, but I dang sure don't want him to, have that guy 100% and ready to go. So we'll see where it goes with him. All right, I want to bring up one that's just a little sad because Freddie Freeman, okay, his family, look, he's a baseball star, former Atlanta Brave, current LA Dodger, and so he now had an illness where his son collapsed. And I know you don't know about this. This isn't 100% in your field, but let me just at least read from Chelsea Freeman. This is Freddie Freeman's wife that wrote this and posted this on social media. We wanted to give an update on Maximus, their son. Last Friday, he rapidly declined and went into full body paralysis. Very fortunate to have got him to the hospital in time so they could reinforce his lungs. Freddie was in Houston at the time, rushed to on the first flight back. Max is battling a severe case of Guillain-Barré syndrome.
Yeah.
Can you explain that a little bit, just at least give us an idea?
Yeah, so it's called Guillain-Barré. This is not really an orthopedic thing, but it's basically your body attacks the nerves, and it starts from the bottom up because it's usually ascending. So it starts with like leg weakness, and then hips, and then your arms, and then eventually to your lungs, where you stop breathing, which is what they mentioned there that they had to. I think I saw the story a couple days ago. They had to intubate him, and now he's off. He's back at home. But yeah, it can happen from a virus. You can just get sick. You get who knows, the flu or cold, whatever it is, and then your body just kind of goes crazy and get it. It's rare, but it does happen. It's one of those freak things that can happen, and you have a long road ahead of you after that if you even come back to 100% normal. But the good thing for him is that he got out of the acute phase, which is obviously the most dangerous phase because you have your lungs stop working, and now he's back at home. And then at this point, you got to rehab, go back to kind of walking and breathing and doing all that stuff again.
Yeah, because the way she described it, he was excavated from his breathing tube and taken off the ventilator, and that's
extubated.
Yeah, it really
excavated is like I'm an excavator.
Yeah, think about that, honestly. All right, one more real quick, because I know that we did this on Breaking Bones, but Charles is one of our diehard listeners, and he wanted to hear the answer, so hopefully he's listening to XL Primetime. We talked about this. Gio, I'm scheduled to see a VA ortho next week. Will a shot of cortisone help the fiery pain in my left elbow? Taking 20 milligrams of Percocet does not help. And he's hoping for some Gio knowledge.
Well, 20 milligram Percocet is a lot. Hopefully he's taking that for chronic pain and not for that elbow. We always say if you're on Percocet already before a new injury, that Percocet is not going to help the new injury because that's your baseline at that point. Number two, I don't know exactly what's wrong with his elbow, but usually fiery pain is usually a tendonitis, like a tennis or a tennis elbow or golfer's elbow, we call it. Will a cortisone shot help that? Yes, most likely. Is there a chance it doesn't? Absolutely. The shots aren't 100%, and I don't even know if that's what's wrong with him, but at this point in time, I would recommend, assuming it's a tennis elbow type situation, to do a cortisone shot.
Yeah, make sure if you need to come see Gio, you can definitely do that. Obviously, if he goes to the VA, hopefully they will be able to take care of him. All right, Dr. George Bari, you can find all of our podcasts, real easy to find.
Apple, Google, Spotify.
Just go to 1010XL.com as well if you missed any of our shows. And Sunday morning, we will have a brand new Breaking Bones. If you want to shoot us a question, 641-1010, and we will make sure we get it on the show on Sunday. That's all you got to do. Throw a question. If we can get to it either on Breaking Bones or next week when Gio drops by XL Primetime, we'd love to help you any way we can. That's for sure. Speaking of helping you, we're going to head into the 3 o'clock hour with a chance for you to win Jags Chiefs tickets in the 3 o'clock hour. And look, you're going to be able to go and have a big time. You're going to be able to get back in the bank. You're going to be able to see your starters, Kansas City Chiefs. Andy Reid has come out and said that they're going to play probably a quarter worth of football, and you're going to be able to see both sides of the ball. Now, he was only talking about the offense, at least in his presser, but we should see a little bit of work from the big names in the game. And that's really all you're looking for right now. Get the lather up, as they say. Get out there, knock heads, hit somebody that you haven't been hitting in practice, and try and get out of there unscathed, but get some good work in. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're going to see that from the Jags, too. I think you're going to see, a couple series for Trevor. Again, like I said yesterday, if for any reason any of those middle three goes down and gets injured, get him out of the game, man.
Well, it's like we said, there already may be a little bit of a liability when it comes to the interior. Right. And I'm a Mitch Morse believer because this guy has not made a living as a starter in the National Football League for a decade and not know what he's doing. He may be long in tooth, may be losing some of that skill set. The Buffalo Bills maybe said goodbye to him and said let someone else pay him. I don't know. But I know that they're looking at him shoring up, making the line calls, shoring up the interior, and technique-wise getting the job done. Because I think all you're looking for right now is another good second of blocking, basically, from what you had.
Yeah, and confidence in the other two guys, which again that's they can have the confidence, but can they physically stand up? And that's the big question.
Right.
It just is.
All right, so I saw this something kind of fun that we will do in the 3 o'clock hour, and might even do a little bit of this as we get closer and closer to the kickoff of the regular season in college ball. But the SEC network, they've been around for a decade, so they threw out the top 10 quarterbacks of the last decade in the SEC. So we'll dig into that, have a little fun with it, get back to your Jags. You got a chance to win Jags-Chiefs tickets right here on XL Primetime. Don't forget, if you want to come on out after you had, 48, 72 hours of lousy weather, wind, rain. You might have had to just stay indoors more than you wanted, a little claustrophobic. Come on out. The Golf Club of Southampton this afternoon welcoming you for a little 9 after 5. You can get there as soon as you knock off, 5:15, be able to tee it up, 9-hole game, food afterwards, some prizes. Definitely check out the 9 after 5 at the Golf Club of Southampton. Call 287-PLAY and get on the tee with Joe C.
Cruising with XL Primetime in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL. You're in the pole position with 1010XL.
Boogity, boogity, boogity. Ooh, let's go racing.
This Sunday at Richmond, brought to you by the Plumbers and Pipefitters Local Union 234. From the station with the most horsepower, 1010XL. Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes, and summer's in full swing, and air conditioners are fully stressed. But do what I did and call the good folks at Fenwick Home Services to stay cool and comfortable all season long. Need a new AC? Fenwick has same-day estimates and next-day installations on energy-efficient systems. And your new system is backed by a warranty of up to 12 years. That's right, 12 years. Fenwick also offers same-day 24/7 service day or night, and their expert technicians will get the job done and get it done right the first time. Book online now at FenwickHomeservices.com.
Hey folks, Rick Ballou here for John's Auto. They've been a staple in Jacksonville going all the way back to 1985. At John's Auto, they service all makes, all models, cars, trucks, diesel, you name it, they do it. Whether it's routine maintenance or a complete engine overhaul. Call John's Auto on Arlington Road. That's 904-743-3857 or go to johnsautomotivejacks.com.
Brackish Vodka, the official vodka of UNF Athletics, 100% made in Jacksonville, is available at all local liquor stores. Visit Browdy's, Total Wine, ABC, Shores, Golden, Sahara's, Golden Ox, and more. Drink our gluten-free San Francisco Spirit award-winning vodka and see why it's the smoothest vodka you can buy. When you drink Brackish Vodka, you support all of our local employees and all the money stays in Jacksonville. Drink Brackish Vodka and live life slightly salty. Proud partner of the Jaguars.
Studios.
Vegas, baby. This is Taylor Dahl from Helmets and Heels, and we're sending one lucky listener to Circa Resort and Casino this December. Win a free 3-night stay with $200 food and beverage credit, plus a daybed at Stadium Swim. With 6 temperature-controlled pools and a massive 143-foot screen at Circa, you'll huddle up with the Heels at the Overhang Bar for our pregame tailgates on Friday with drink specials and giveaways. For a chance to win this all-in package to Circa with Helmets and Heels, enter at 1010xl.com/Vegas.
And if you've already booked your flight to Vegas for the big game and are still searching for accommodations, Circa Resort and Casino has a special rate just for Jacksonville fans. Mia here, and for just $500, get a 3-night stay at Circa, $200 in food and beverage credit, plus a day bed at Stadium Swim. With 6 temperature-controlled pools and a massive screen, it's the world's largest hot tub party. The all-in package is only available till August 30th, so act now. Book and join the Heels in Vegas. Visit CircaLasVegas.com today.
When all you have is a hammer, everything is a nail. I'm Dr. George Bari, and like me, I know you have been bombarded with PRP and stem cell treatments from companies that promise the world and charge prices to match. Or the surgeon that convinced you the only way to treat your injuries through surgery. At Bari Orthopedics, we offer the best PRP treatment on the market with prices that won't cost you an arm and a leg. We also have the expertise to treat your injury surgically, if that is what it entails. We can discuss all surgical and non-surgical options with you and make sure you get the best treatment available. Come see me, Dr. George Bari at Bari Orthopedics.
When you want to be heard, send your opinion to the 1010XL text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosures.
Thank you for believing in me when the bosses didn't give me a chance.
641-1010. No texting and driving. Get your thoughts heard on 1010XL.
David Ammon here with Zero Res. So Ammon, your mom mentioned it's been a year since we did a complete house cleaning. The kitchen tile and living room floors are looking pretty dingy. It's time to call Zero Res.
That's right. Most folks know that Zero Res does an amazing job at cleaning their carpets and rugs, but they don't know that Zero Res can clean their tile and grout, LVP, and wood floors.
And right now, Zero Res is offering 25% off all hard floor cleaning. Zero Res,
spelled forward or backwards, it's the right way to clean.
CERO, Zero Res.
We love talking sports on 1010XL, and I9 Sports loves giving kids the perfect way to grow up playing sports. Fall and winter registration is underway. Log on to i9sports.com and see all they've got to offer. Kids 3 and up. You can enter 1010 in the promo code for a discount. Year-round sports all across the First Coast. St. John's, Duval, and Clay. Sign up now for fall and winter. Great locations added like Fort Family Field, Westside Middle, and Duval Charter Bay Meadows. It's all online at i9sports.com.
Are tomatoes a fruit or a vegetable? The answer next.
We all know that saving money on items like homeowners insurance can be done. Ask your agent about the new Southern Oak Insurance deductible options. It'll save money for you.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
Although classified as a vegetable by U.S. Customs and Border Protection, tomatoes are actually a fruit, since they're technically berries that develop from a single flower.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
Home of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Prosser here for Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Football season finally upon us, and with that comes cooler weather. If you've been wanting to upgrade your outdoor living space, you should call the experts at Lifetime Enclosures now. From glass lanais to screened-in enclosures, Lifetime Enclosures and Flooring is the best in the business, so give them a call today. Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Showroom just off Phillips Highway. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Hello, this is Father Nicholas Lowe, and I want to talk to you about letting things roll off of your back. So often we can make big deals out of things that are not really big deals. We can allow them to steal the joy of our day. But let me remind you that don't allow anyone or anything to steal the joy of today. Go out today not letting little things steal the big things that God has in store for you.
For more inspiration, log on to stjohnthedivine.com.
I'm RJ Saunders with your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. For 1010XL, the PWC SMU Athletic Forum released the preseason candidates for the 2024 Doak Walker Award, which included Florida senior playmaker Montrell Johnson Jr. Johnson Jr. enters his senior season after starting 11 games in 2023 and leading the Gators in each rushing for the last 2 seasons. His 817 rushing yards was good for 10th in the conference. last season. Florida State men's basketball will face Rice in the Battleground 2K Hoops doubleheader at the Toyota Center in Houston on November 9th. The Seminoles will face the Owls in the first game of the doubleheader, which features Houston going toe-to-toe against Auburn in the second game of the one-day event. 88 degrees at 2:58. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is XL Primetime, brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
We are cranking it out. 2:59, 3 o'clock hour, almost here. Hope you guys are having a good afternoon. You know that we are always loving the interaction with our fans. It could be on YouTube. It could be through the text line. It could be on social, whatever it is. We totally appreciate it. That's for sure. Pumped out a couple things on social today. A good quote from Brian Thomas, at least one that made me laugh. And then also Jarian Jones coming in from Jags practice to the Knowles practice, which was nice to see him come back in, immediately be greeted by people around the football program, because that's where he starred, and then ultimately got drafted in the third round. So it was nice to see. So at 1010XL Joe C, you can find both of those. And then, of course, Matt, with all that he's got going on in the college football world, you can definitely check him out as well. So we appreciate it, that's for sure. So let's do a couple of things. And one is a throwback in time, and then the other one is a chance for you to win tickets Saturday night. So that's not a throwback in time. That's going to be a gift for Saturday night. But I was looking at the SEC network, and they went through the top 10 quarterbacks of the last decade. Now, this is straight from one of our friends, Roman Harper, okay? This is not science. This is not analytics. This is nothing. This is straight out of Roman's brain, okay? So you can curse him if you want. Who do you think is number 1, and who do you think is number 10? I
think number 1 is Joe Burrow.
Okay, check.
I think number 10 is going to be, in the last decade. I mean, God.
And I want you guys to think about this, because if you think about the last decade of SEC quarterback play, we have been treated to some pretty good stuff.
I know. It's going to be difficult. I'm going to say that they're going to say, I hope it's 9, because I hope he's a lot higher than this, but I'm going to say Stetson Bennett.
Okay. Stetson is in the middle of the pack.
Okay.
Because he's a 2-time natty winner.
So then let's say it's going to be one of those Alabama quarterbacks then. It's going to be it's not going to be Mac.
No, it is. You're nailing it down.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's Mac.
Mac had an unreal senior season.
He did, but maybe it's because...
Should have won the Heisman.
Well, maybe it's because Devonta Smith did win the Heisman. And if you Bama fans, you guys can vote on whether or not you think Roman Harper is nuts, because he knows a lot about that school, that squad, that's for sure. And maybe it's his bias that pushed Mac.
Let's hear the 10. Let's hear the 10.
Okay, so here we go. Mac Jones is 10th in the last decade, according to Roman Harper. And again, we love Roman.
Let me just say this. We do love Roman, but there better be 9 freaking great quarterbacks.
All right, and 1 is an absolute, I don't know, like what was he thinking kind of decision. But he's got Mac 10th. He has Hendon Hooker 9th. Hendon Hooker had a
great season.
He had really,
2 good seasons. He didn't have the kind of year Mac Jones had.
But they had really, really good. Like I said, Roman, I think his own bias is what got in the way, honestly, with this list.
All right.
Next one, Jake Fromm.
Wow.
Yeah. And that one made zero
terrible.
sense to me.
That's terrible.
Okay.
That's terrible, actually.
Yeah. Jake,
I wouldn't have put him in the top 10.
Well, Jake, if you go back and you think right there at the end, we'd have to go back and look at the numbers. But as soon as when Mark was wrapping things up, Mark Richt, coach of the Bulldogs, you got to remember, they were winning 80% of their games. And Fromm was pretty spectacular before he ultimately got hurt and kind of got pushed to the side. But he was good. He was really good. Okay? And then Kirby took over. Fromm was there. And then Justin Fields left as a result of that. Remember all the stuff that went on around that time. So he put Jake Fromm.
No, Fromm was there from the jump with Kirby. Fromm was the guy who played instead of Eason.
Mm-hmm.
When Eason played as a freshman, then Eason got hurt, and then Fromm went in there and took over. Yeah.
And so was Eason the transition quarterback from Rick to
yes,
Kirby?
The Kirby.
Okay,
yes.
so I'm off
mixed
on my
up. That's all. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm off my timeline. So Fromm had some good years.
First 2 years were good. Third year was
Yeah, do not forget how good he was. Jalen Hurts 7th, and remember Jalen Hurts went on to Big 12 stardom.
I mean, he lost his job at Alabama.
Yeah, but he was 26-2.
He had a good career, there's no doubt, but he lost his job.
He was 26-2.
All right.
He lost his job in 30 minutes of football. That's how he lost it.
Well, and in another offseason, he had an equal opportunity to win that job back in the offseason.
Yeah,
and didn't.
But by the way, I'll always contend, and Bama fan, you guys, this is, I'm sure, a good argument that you guys may have at the watering hole, but it was the change in design and offense that also led Jalen Hurts out the door at that time. It really was.
Look at this text line, the 654. Can we just hear the list? No, you can't.
Yeah.
That's part of radio. We're going to go slow and make you want it more.
Yeah,
that's what it's all about, okay?
That's what we do. And you might try this on a Friday night, big fella. It might work. All right, so Jalen Hurts is 7th. And then Stetson Bennett, the two-time natty.
That's good because I feared he was going to be 10, which
is 6th.
He should be higher than 6.
Yeah, so he's middle of the pack. And Stetson, I'm pretty sure, as a former walk-on, would take middle of the pack when you're talking about top 10 quarterbacks over a decade's time. Hardware-wise, he should be way up there. But still, Stetson is 6th. Then Bryce.
How many of the rest of those 10, the 654 is getting pissed now. How many of the rest of those 10 have 2 national titles? None.
None. And so everyone gets to come up with their own criteria. Again, I love Roman. This is the Harper model. Okay. Stetson Bennett is 6th. Then Bryce Young, who does have hardware.
Had 2 great years.
Yeah. And really played his fanny off. May never be in the NFL.
He's got an SEC championship. He doesn't have a natty.
He does not have a natty. And so Bryce but he has the hardware. He's got the Heisman. So Bryce is right there sitting 5th. And then this was a do-all cat, 4th, Dak Prescott.
Oh, my God.
I'm just telling you. Because remember, this is a decade worth of college football in the SEC. Go back and take a look at Dak's numbers.
It's a terrible list. We love Roman.
Yeah, I love Roman.
Friend of the program. It's a terrible list.
But Dak, hey, anybody out there, YouTube land, do you guys remember what Dak did?
I remember Dak. Okay. I remember how he played. Dak's not even on the field with these guys right now.
He accounted for 70% of their offense.
It's because he's all they had.
Exactly. And everyone knew what was coming. I will defend that one. Number 3, Tua. Number 2, another Heisman Trophy winner behind Burrow and Jaden Daniels. So number 1 and number 2 are 2 LSU quarterbacks, Joey Burrow and Jaden Daniels. So honestly, I look at this list, I can't poke too many holes in it. Give me a guy. Now, you may rearrange them.
Dak should not be on that list. Fromm should not be on that list. Bennett should be higher.
Yeah.
Mac Jones should be higher.
I could kick Fromm to the curb, but there's no way I would not keep Dak Prescott among the top 6 in the last decade. And we'll just go look at the numbers because he balled.
Wait, are you telling me that Emory Jones is not on that list? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Yeah. I'm looking around and going, do you know how many lists they're going to have as they count down the kickoff to the SEC that's not going to have a Florida Gator on it? It's just.
Although, to be fair, Trask had a great season in 20.
Yeah.
A great season.
Yeah. And if you are looking at individual seasons, then you might have a slightly different list. But think of what Dak did over time at Mississippi. Fromm, back-to-back years. Stetson, obviously, back-to-back years. Burrow had the season of all seasons. He definitely earned that number one spot off of 1 year.
Right.
And like I said, you can have all sorts of different criteria for these guys. I like the list because at least it gets you talking. You know what I mean?
Of course. And it gets some people angry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because it's not happening fast enough for them.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we got a giveaway we got to get to.
All right, so Jaguar tickets. We've got Chiefs, Jaguars, Saturday night. All right, so set it up.
All right, so Trevor Lawrence in the last 2 years has completed at least 65% of his passes. Now, in the history of this franchise, quarterbacks who have started at least 4 games in a season, how many have completed 65%, and what are their names? And if you get that right, you got 2 ducats to the Jags game this weekend against the Chiefs.
All right, 641-1010, RJ, judge, jury, sentencer. He's the one who's going to decide. But repeat the question one more time.
Trevor Lawrence, the last 2 seasons, has completed 65% of his passes, okay? Now, in the history of the franchise, how many other quarterbacks have completed 65% of their passes in a season with at least 4 starts? At least 4 starts, okay? 65%. How many, and what are their names?
All right, give it to us. 641-1010. RJ, let us know when we got a winner, and we will get them hooked up with those tickets. All right, so off the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures, Jalen, referring to Jalen Hurts. Jalen is beloved at Bama, and you are correct. The change in offense is what forced him to move on. Remember, he stayed and won the SEC for us that last year he was there. Roll Tide. I'll insert roll damn Tide.
The change in offense didn't force him to leave. Tua Tagovailoa forced him to leave.
Yeah, well, but
because he ran a similar offense at Oklahoma.
Yeah, but my contention, all right, this is how I remember. Again, opinions are like elbows. We all have them, okay? But Jalen was primarily a run first in an RPO guy. That's who he was. He did not throw the football as much or was not as dynamic throwing the football as he was running it. That's how it played out. So then the evolution, and you can go to the time when Lane Kiffin was coming in, making sure he was introducing the spread, and then the elements of the spread started to feed off of that with all the other OCs that came through there, right? Would you agree with that?
All right.
There was an evolution because, listen, you know under Nick, it was an I-back heavy offense forever.
Early on, yes.
Yeah. It was an I-back heavy offense.
Early on.
And so you had the quote, caretakers, the A.J. McCarrons, the Greg McElroys, all these guys.
Never got enough credit, by the way, those guys.
Probably not.
Jacob Coker never got enough credit.
But Lane comes in.
Everything changes, yeah.
Everything changes. He starts bringing elements of the spread in. So enter Jalen Hurts. He goes 26-2 as a starter. 30 minutes of football. They're not doing what Nick Saban or Alabama faithful expect them to do.
They scored 7 points in 3 quarters.
Exactly. Enter Tua Tagovailoa.
Yeah.
He saves the day, the season, everything, including one of the best throws you will ever see over half the field into a spot. Okay, that was better than 4th and Milrow.
A great read, too. He played the safety perfectly.
Okay, so he wins the job off of that play because he goes in the offseason with all that enthusiasm.
Mojo.
Yeah, and everything, okay? And then Jalen Hurts says, you know what, we'll go toe-to-toe. I'll be a good teammate. I'll play. I'll stay. I'll do all this. Anyway, he doesn't win his job. And then he comes in and saves the day for them when they needed it the most.
In the SEC championship.
In the SEC, which is a great storybook for Jalen Hurts, which is probably why Alabama fans said he's beloved. But then
then they get to their playoff, and Tua comes back, and the guy here beats him in the championship
game. And then he presses on. And then when he goes to Oklahoma, Lincoln Riley makes him a better passer. He was not as gifted a passer,
a much better thrower
in the Crimson, as he was out in Norman. And so that is another big layer to what Jalen was able to do there. That's why I figure I don't mind seeing that list and seeing where he's at versus where Tua was at.
By the way, that always gets so overlooked. It's almost like the lost season. Everybody forgets that 18 Alabama team was phenomenal.
Yeah,
phenomenal. Mm-hmm. And Clemson just beat the dog out of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's the
Clemson with freshman quarterback Trevor Lawrence.
Right. That's not the 99 play Clemson team. That was Deshaun Watson's team that ran the 99 plays on him. But yeah, the 18 team, unreal.
Yeah.
Unreal. And so they won, what did they win? 16 and 18. Is that right?
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah, because they were back and forth. Bama, Clemson, Bama, Clemson.
Yep.
So, yeah, you want to talk about just some great performances. I'm just trying to think of another quarterback in the SEC in that decade's worth of time that needs to be shoved into this list, and we'll go back and look at them. I know you Spencer Rattler supporters. I know. I know you're coming at me right now. But, you can't think of too many other ones. Kyle Trask, for a season, had him a hell of a year where he had to come in and basically save the night against Kentucky, and then from there turned into pretty dang good college quarterback. But
yeah, I mean, now that I'm thinking about it, I mean, Matt Corral had a couple good years. With
he
Lane.
did, and played tough as nails.
Nobody really on Mississippi State. Will Rogers, but I don't know if they didn't really do anything.
No.
Auburn, no.
You can have a bunch of yards.
Stidham, but not to that level, no. Yeah, I mean, he's probably got the right group, I guess. You can make an argument for Trask. Arkansas, no. Mizzou, no. Drew Lock one season.
Drew Lock was careless with the football. I felt
except for the one season he played with Heupel, he was really good then. Yeah. I mean, he probably has the right guys. A&M, no, I don't think so. What about Felipe Franks?
Yeah. There have been some memorable throws, but not memorable games necessarily or seasons. All right, we'll keep it rolling. RJ, we got a winner, correct? All right, so we got a winner. So let's hit the who wins, RJ?
Richmond. Shout out to Richmond.
Well, it's a difficult question.
All right,
it's not. I heard RJ like arguing with people in there.
All right, so give it to him.
So the question again was: Trevor Lawrence has completed at least 65% of his passes the last 2 seasons. What 2 players in the franchise history who have started at least 4 games also completed 65% of their passes? And the 2 players are Nick Foles, who started 4 games.
4 games. Had to come back at the end of the year to lose that $88 million contract that he had.
Right, 4 games in 19, I guess that was. Yeah, 19. And then the one and only.
The one and only. Rico.
Gardner Minshew in 2020. So Gardner completed 66.1% of his passes. Nick Foles completed 65.8% of his passes. Now, Brunell completed 65.9 in 2003, but only started 3 games.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look down the list, Cody Kessler was the closest of anyone else.
Which is just nuts.
4 starts, and he completed 64.9. So if you're rounding up, it's 65, but we're not rounding up.
And we'll look at David Garrard.
David Garrard also 64.5. Sorry, Dave, we're not rounding up.
Yeah.
And just for the purpose of giving away these tickets, Dave. Yeah. That's the only reason.
And we did get one texter right at the end, like after it had been given away, that came in with the correct one. There were a bunch of other guesses because it's not.
That tells you like where this franchise has been quarterback-wise.
And it also sounds easier than it is. And completing 2/3 of your passes is not easy. Now, we're seeing more
and they want him to be like in the high 60s range, 68, 69, which is 3 percentage point a jump like that. And at this level of play is a big jump.
And by the way, even though the rules favor the offense, these contested catches.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking about some wizardry on that side, the way these guys are covering, because they know they have got to be craftsmen when it comes to defending the pass, because they're not going to get away with the big shot. They're going to have a fine and a flag. So they have got to become craftsmen. So good stuff. We hooked up one of our listeners with tickets to the Chiefs Jags Saturday night. We'll keep it going on that front as we look forward to that game, and then back to some of the chatter about the college football best quarterbacks. One question: did y'all mention McCarron by chance? No, we mentioned him,
but he wasn't in the last 10 years.
Yeah, exactly. And so the last decade is what we were looking at. It is XL Primetime. We'll keep it cranking. 641-1010 if you guys want to jump in on the text line.
You're riding in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios. XL Primetime on 1010XL. Now, a 1010XL Summer Olympic Update brought to you by
USAPark.net Airport Parking.
Westwood One Sports presents this special update on the 2024 Summer Games. Marco Polo. Marko Vavic lifting the U.S. men's water polo team to the semifinals with the game-winning goal in a shootout, 11-10, the final over Australia. The Americans advanced to the semis at the Olympics for the first time since 2008 when they won silver. They'll play Serbia on Friday. Speaking of silver in the pool, the U.S. takes second in artistic swimming, what used to be synchronized swimming. Team of 9 giving Team USA its first medal in the event since a bronze in 2004. China won gold. And sprinter Noah Lyles from Alexandria, Virginia, chasing the golden double in Paris. He's already won the 100 meters. Today he secures a spot in tomorrow's final of the 200 meters with a second-place finish in his semifinal. With this Summer Games update, I'm Ted Emmerich, Westwood One Sports.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Broken bricks, falling fences, damaged doors? Gorilla Glue. Of course. It's incredibly strong and 100% waterproof and bonds, well, virtually everything. While you're at it, look for Gorilla Tape, a heavy-duty double-thick duct tape, and Gorilla Super Glue, great for all your quick fixes and repairs. There's also Gorilla Epoxy, Gorilla Wood Glue, Gorilla Construction Adhesive. Of course. You get it. If you can break it, Gorilla can fix it. For the toughest jobs on planet Earth.
Nimnick Chevrolet is Northeast Florida's Silverado truck headquarters. Frank Frangie here. With new shipments arriving daily, Nimnick Chevrolet has the best selection of Silverado trucks on the ground in town. Nimnick Chevrolet is conveniently located on the corner of Park and Cassett Avenue or online at nimnickchevy.com. Nimnick Chevrolet is family owned and operated. No one cares more about their customers before and after the sale. That's Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941. Chevrolet, together let's drive.
This is Josh Woolsey with Woolsey Morecambe. Woolsey Morecambe is your MVP in the legal game. Our team of skilled attorneys tackle personal injury cases with compassion and expertise. With fumbles like a car or truck accident, we're here to seek the compensation you deserve. Right here in Jacksonville, we've successfully won over $100 million and earned a championship-worthy record. When it's game time, you want a team that plays to win. Contact Woolsey Morecambe at 1-800-WOOLSEY. Offices, Jacksonville.
Hi, I'm Frank Frangie, and I've depended on South State for my banking needs as long as they've been serving Duval. Whether you're saving for retirement, purchasing a home, starting a business, your goals are their commitment. With forward-thinking, personalized banking solutions and best-in-class service, South State is ready to help you navigate your financial journey. Connect at southstatebank.com or drop by any of the 5 local South State offices. South State Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Get this thing unwrapped here.
Praz, what in the world are you doing working on your Duval?
That's right, Dan. I really identify with Duval.
You live in St. Johns County, knucklehead.
I mean the Duval sub, the Dailies Dash Duval. Turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheeses. Lettuce, tomato, crispy and fresh, you know, like me. I'm sure there's a Dailies Dash sub that sums you up.
The boss.
Because, of course,
oven roasted beef, Munster cheese, roasted mushrooms, caramelized onions. It's the boss of all subs. Only available for me.
That's just not true.
What do you mean? I walked in the other day, screamed, "You know it!" and said, "A boss for a boss."
Well, no matter who you are, there is a Dailies Dash sandwich or sub for you.
Go find yours. They may even make you a boss.
I'm sure they will, because it is Dailies Dash.
Where more is better.
And you got that right.
Hey, Russell Wilson here, and I know how important exercise is.
It's essential. It's essential.
With Play 60, United Way and the NFL are helping kids stay active and play at least 60 minutes a day.
Healthy kids. Healthy kids.
But what this place needs is you. To donate or volunteer, go to unitedway.org/play60 because great things happen when we live united.
Donate.
Are you guys going to do that every time?
Yes, of course. Yes, of course.
Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Start your Sunday off with a cup of Joe and some sports medicine intel. This is Joe C. inviting you to join me and Dr. George Bari for Breaking Bones every Sunday morning at 7:30. And if you miss an episode, just look for Breaking Bones wherever you listen to podcasts.
Daytona always brings the drama.
Everything's on the line. The risk will be higher.
3 wide.
Look how insane this is.
Gunning to keep playoff hopes alive. It's now or never.
It's the most stressful night of racing that you'll ever go through.
For an unforgettable weekend of family fun, high wattage star power, and a front row seat full of fireworks. NASCAR weekend at Daytona International Speedway, August 23rd and 24th. Get your tickets now at DaytonaInternationalSpeedway.com.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for Instant Keys locksmith service.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
If you're an experienced, skilled plumber or welder that's MedGas certified and you're tired of working for a company that just doesn't treat you right, Local 234 is the place for you. Their pay is the best in the business. You'll walk away with $35.09 an hour in your pocket. With benefits, that's just over $50 an hour. Local 234 has been around since 1901, and that means something. Visit UA234.com to send your resume. Local 234. Make the right connection.
A lot of companies will tell you they're the best. At Custom Tree Surgeons, they show you every time. Custom Tree Surgeons has built an all-pro team. Every tree service professional has years of experience, continually trained and certified. They know what, when, and how to handle any job. It gets done efficiently and quick. So for tree trimming, removal, stump grinding, and emergency services, forget any name other than Custom Tree Surgeons. There is no job they can't do better. Go to our website, CustomTreeSurgeons.com. That's CustomTreeSurgeons.com, and let them show you how the job is supposed to get done.
I'm Ben from Beard's Diamonds. My father and I buy our stones direct from the diamond cutters. No middleman, no big company overhead, no commission salespeople, and we pass the savings on to you. Before you buy anywhere else, remember, Beard's Diamonds will beat any competitor's price.
In the St. John's Town Center or at beardsdiamonds.com.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is XL Primetime, brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
Cranking along on a golf club of Southampton Wednesday. Their number is 287-PLAY if you want to fire up a phone call and head on out this afternoon, a little 9 after 5, or any day of the week. The one thing I have heard from Derek is that, battling the drought-like conditions that over the last couple of weeks, rain has helped in re-nourishing. We've mentioned the word re-nourishing or re-nourishment too many times on this show today, but trying to re-nourish those greens. And
Stop saying it. It's going to lose its meaning at this point.
I know. It's definitely coming along, though. I am fired up for that because to see green again is a good thing. And even though I've never been like a huge fan of the rain, like I mostly subscribe to the CCR call, who will stop the rain. I don't mind when it rains at night, just not during the day. But we needed it. We needed it. I look at some of these lakes, they're like below half. So we needed it in the worst way. That's for sure. So we're getting some of that. But the conversation when it comes to college football, it doesn't matter what school you're talking about. If it's in the South, it counts, that type of deal. You start throwing out some of these rankings and where some of these people are placed. Oh, my gosh, they're all fired up on the text line. You can jump in on the YouTube chat as well if you want. And if you miss any of XL Primetime, all you got to do is go back and reload the show and stream the whole bad boy. Just go to YouTube and search XL Primetime. Off the text line, Joey Burrow deserved to be 1. But no way is Mac 10 off of his 1 season. There aren't 9 quarterbacks worth or better stats off of the 1 season. And Burrow, honestly, his 1 season before he came in and had this unbelievable run in 2019, it was okay. It wasn't great. It really wasn't. The texter finishes.
Well, it was better than okay. Come on.
It was decent. It was decent.
It was on a scale of 1 to 10. It was probably like a 6.5, 7. By the end of the year, he was really good because they had changed the offense. They started doing what they were doing in 19.
I'd have to pull it up, but it was like in that, 2,500 yard neighborhood, decent touchdown and picks number. But my point is that he wins this recognition off of 1 year.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Yeah, and then.
But it's a hell of a year.
Oh, it was the most,
greatest year in college football history.
Yeah, the most sensational offensive team the sport has ever seen, and so and the rules and everything have allowed for that. But they went out and did it.
Right,
and they had 3 incredible receivers. They had a really dynamic running back. They had a line that could do whatever they needed to do to make sure that Burrow and company had time. That was an unbelievable bunch. There's no doubt about that.
He was also, let's be honest, an unbelievable quarterback.
Yeah.
He was accurate. He was tough. Yeah. Like, he got hit that year.
Yeah.
Accurate, tough, ton of moxie, played big in big games. I mean, that run on third down against Alabama that sealed the game was phenomenal.
And Burrow counts as one of those guys that's sneaky fast. He's got some moves when he needs it. He's most of the time a statue, sitting in the pocket, delivering the football. But when pressed, he can get out off schedule and make them. And he does this in a Bengals uniform too, people. He can do it even with the ACL that he had to deal with a couple of seasons ago. So he is one of those sneaky good guys. But I do agree that just because Mac Jones didn't win the Heisman and Devonta Smith got it, it was just the voters out there in Heisman land that said, you know what would be really cool? We haven't given it to a non-quarterback in a while, and that's where Devonta got all that love. And I was a Devonta Smith fan, so I was definitely hyping him up with my Heisman vote as much as anybody. But Burrow with, who was it? Jamar, Justin,
Chase,
and Terrace, right?
Yeah.
They, all three of them.
And Moss, Thaddeus Moss, who was terrific that year too, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Yeah, and help me out. In the semifinal game, who did they drill? Who did they blow out in the first quarter of the game? Quarterback by?
He had 6 touchdowns in the first half.
Quarterback
by Jalen.
By Jalen.
Yeah.
And so if you're thinking about just great, like Jalen Hurts deserves a lot of love. But what Joe Burrow and that team did, I'll never forget it. I'm over at Big Vic's house, and it's Cajun country through and through. They're serving up boudin and gumbo, and I'm telling you, they are sky high over this game, and they're nervous as all get out. Like, the ice cubes in the bourbon are melting faster and faster in Big Vic's eyes. They're like just so nervous that it's not going to go well. And then 6 scores later. It
was 42-7 at halftime.
6 scores later in the first half of this game, and obviously it was on after that. And so that's how good that football team was. And just to use that as a like just kind of a little backdrop.
The defense was okay. It was almost like the Auburn team in 2010 where it was Cam and the defense is okay. I mean, honestly, K'Lavon Chaisson used that little run from the SEC championship game to the playoffs. So those 3 games, he was to get that into a first round pick.
There are a handful of guys, and I'm sure more than the ones that are popping in our head right now have done this. But the 2 that I will always remember, and agree or disagree if you want on the text line or on YouTube, 2 guys were drafted in the top 20 off of one game. Derek Harvey in the national championship against Ohio State, because the Jaguars moved up to get him in the top 10, which began the ruin of top 10 picks for this franchise back in 2008, and then K'Lavon Chaisson.
I mean, 2 picks in that round, and they were C.J. Henderson, Chris Anderson, and K'Lavon Chaisson.
Yeah.
It's just mind-boggling.
Yeah.
Mind-boggling.
Yeah. And so, it's but you start going back and you start thinking about some of these, and the next question, which I'll just go ahead and carry it into the next seg, and then we'll get back to your Jags. Oklahoma got run out of the gym in that game. Are they ready for the SEC on a week-in, week-out basis? Let's ask that question, ponder it. We'll throw out some thoughts coming up on XL Primetime.
The First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL.
Did you know you can charge the all-new Honda Electric Prologue in the same receptacle as your phone? You don't need any special charging stations at your home. Simply plug in your Honda or your phone. See your local Honda dealer now. We're electrified.
This is 1010XL's Dylan Denmark. They call me Pockets on the radio, but for my floral needs, I only call Kuhn Flowers. Never take chances when you send a full arrangement. Always use the best in the business, Kuhn Flowers. Kuhn Flowers.
Hey, sports fans, this is Hayes Carlyon from MyBookie. Look, we've all been there before. A weekend trip to the casino canceled because real life came calling. Well, MyBookie's new and improved online casino is here to change the game. Dive into a truly realistic casino experience featuring the latest in slots, progressive jackpots, and live dealer action, all from the comfort of your own home. I love the live casino. The roulette is awesome. It's so easy and so much fun. Just go to MyBookie and click Live Casino at the top. You'll find live dealers ready to deal or spin, just like you're at the casino. The MyBookie Casino provides a Las Vegas experience when the action is in your hands. Start at MyBookie today with a generous sign-up bonus using promo code 1010XL, and a revamped loyalty program ensures a host of exclusive VIP perks. So sign up and hit the casino with promo code 1010XL. The more you play, the more you win. Only with MyBookie.
1010XL breaks down training camp all day. Listen for camp news with analysis and insight from the practice feed. Everything counts! 1010XL's training camp coverage is brought to you by Roland Reach Plumbing and Kingfish Pest Control. This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On August 7, 2007, San Francisco Giants slugger Barry Bonds hits his 756th career home run, breaking Hank Aaron's MLB record.
Hey there, Weekend Warriors. It's Matt Hayes. Sick of that slice? Tired of those 3 putts? What if I told you your handicap isn't about your swing, it's about your weight? Why not take strokes off your game by taking pounds off your frame with the Waco 180? We're talking 10 strokes off by August, getting your tour card by September, winning your first major, year 1. Think about it. Fame, fortune, and most important, winning $5 off your buddy because you, sir, are closest to the pin. Taking strokes off your game is just about 40 pounds away at Awaken180weightloss.com. Awaken 180 does not guarantee an immediate 10 strokes off your score, receiving a tour card, or the ability to control the weather. Individual results may vary. Your newfound athleticism might cause jealousy among your foursome, leading to accusations of steroid use. Awaken is not responsible for defending your honor in the clubhouse. Awaken 180 cannot guarantee that your newfound golf prowess will lead to a sponsorship deal, but we can't not guarantee it either. Awaken 180 is not responsible for any dramatic fist pumps or unsolicited golf tips you give to strangers. Awaken 180 does not offer refunds for any lost wagers made on your improved golf game. Bet wisely, my friend. Strokes off your game by dropping pounds off your frame. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Does the building you go to work in every day need a little love and attention? Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. Great companies take great care of the buildings their staff and customers walk into every day. If the building you're in doesn't match the vision you have for your company, we can help. Go to performance-painting.com. Our highly trained team makes the difference. Quality coatings applied with pride.
Performance Painting. Meet Dennis, talking about his experience with BioTarget Regenerative Therapy at Injury Care Centers.
My first treatment, I actually felt a great improvement. It actually allowed me to dress myself by increasing the range of motion in my shoulder. I did physical therapy for approximately 8 weeks, and it did not help in increasing the range of motion in my shoulder. I've told many people about the results that I had. I thought it was incredible. I'm very active. I do play a lot of golf. I fish a lot. I hunt. I bowl, and it just made it a lot easier with less pain. The pain is more manageable, yes. I don't take medications.
Stop masking your pain with harmful medications. There's a better solution. BioTarget Regenerative Therapy has helped countless others, and it can help you too. Call 904-92-REGEN or visit GoBioTarget.com today.
Hey, David again with Royal Pest Services. TAP Insulation stands for thermal, acoustic, and pest control. Keep your home cool, noise out, and pests dead. Visit RoyalPestServices.com to schedule a free inspection.
Bueller Air and Plumbing presents Are You Cool?
Today's challenger, an asphalt marketer from Jacksonville, Florida. Meet Sheldon Fish. Today's category, air conditioner repair experts in Jacksonville, Florida.
Oh, I bet it's going to be Bueller.
Your question. Unlike Jacksonville, the Sahara Desert has a complete lack of air conditioner repair experts. What kind of camels do they ride?
That's not really a question about air conditioner repair.
5 seconds.
But that's a camel question.
Pick a camel, Sheldon.
Arabian dromedary.
That's right, Sheldon. Like the majestic Arabian dromedary, the skilled technicians at Bueller Air and Plumbing can repair any make and model of air conditioner the same day you call, making sure you are cool.
They don't spit, do they?
No, but Steve, the new guy, has a bit of a hump.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
This is Dr. Michael Iorio, internal medicine physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jaguars, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Rookie wide receiver Brian Thomas Jr. talked about the versatile role he will be used in during his rookie season.
Very real, just being able to play all three positions, being able to play inside, outside, and just do it all. They move you around, try to get the best look for you, get the best matchup for you. So I would say it's very challenging, but just coming out here and doing it each and every day, you'll get better. You get better.
We could see Thomas Jr. line up in many different positions throughout the year. He has proven to be a wide receiver who can get open, going for 1,177 yards and 17 touchdowns at LSU last year. Versatility will be a key factor of success for the wide receiver trio this year. I'm Max Fink with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Now the cool down with Donovan Air, Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since '87.
My takeaway is, as we're watching the Little League College World Series here, not College World Series, Little League World Series here in Williamsport, no chance that kid's 12 years old, the pitcher. No chance at all. He's got to be 6 foot, at least.
Well, there was an old joke, and this goes back in time where this is Uncle Dave. Might have embellished the story, I have no idea. But,
typically he did.
But Uncle Dave, he's somewhere on the back nine right now. So
big cigar in his mouth, laughing. Yeah.
So this is his story. But he would say one of his old physician buddies would go up there for the Little League World Series.
Right.
And they do all the physicals. And there were certain elements of a physical that absolutely 100% told you there's no way this young man is 12 years old. No flipping way. And so it was just a great story. But, yeah, you look at, like, I was watching some of these kids round third base. I'm like, there's no way.
Well, specifically this pitcher, it's no chance he's 12. Or if he is, it's just he's a phenom. As Leon says, he's a phenom.
Yeah. I'll give you an example. We're out at FSU practice today, and I was checking out Luke Kromenek.
Right.
And Kromenek is...
got a good arm, man.
Yeah, he does. He looks good. You were there, too. And anyway... This young lad on the mound looks like he could be the same size as Luke Kromenek.
Little bit, yeah.
I mean, my God.
Right. Anyway, that kind of dovetails into my takeaway. My takeaway is it's fun watching Florida State out there. I love that they come here for 2 days every fall camp. They look good. They pass the eye test. Let's just put it that way. Let's see what happens in 17 days and counting when they go to Ireland and play Georgia Tech.
Yeah, and I'll just add to it. FSU goes as far as DJU takes them. There are a lot of other good players. There's no doubt that they have other good players. But every Noel fan out there knows this. That quarterback position is as important as it gets. And that cat will take them. He is the linchpin to their success. That's the case with most quarterbacks. But this team has a good running back room, which they are going to employ the heck out of. They got a good line. And the defense does look like they're pretty stout. But DJU, he is either going to have to thrive to take them to where they want to be, or he's just going to be one of those guys that can't match up to that Jordan Travis level, and they lose one of those crucial games down the stretch. Honestly, that's what I see.
He clearly can't match up to that level, but I think if he protects the ball, they've got a chance to win a lot of games.
Yeah.
If he starts turning the ball over, they've got problems. I will say this too. Brock Glenn's a good player.
Yeah.
He was out there throwing day, and I was like, wow, that dude could start for some teams in college football. Well, he's a good player.
Yeah, and
he was put into a very difficult situation last year, and just it's not easy. It's not easy what he had to go through.
Yeah, and at least the camp, the indication from them is that he believes that's his job next year. Now that's a patient man if he's going to wait that long, but that's his belief, is that he knows DJU's already jumped over him, obviously on this depth chart
for now.
Yeah, for now.
For now. I mean, who knows what could happen,
Right.
man.
But look, I saw enough of Brock Glenn to make me go, okay, I've seen enough of Brock Glenn. That's just how I'm looking.
Yeah, but you can't do that, man. It's freshman, and
I
he's got
can.
an arm, man. I tell you what, they did a couple of waggle throws out there, and he's rolling out. He made a couple of nice throws, accurate, on the roll. He looked good.
Yeah.
He looked good.
All right, let's do the 10-10 take, talking about LSU and Oklahoma.
Now, Joe C's 10-10 take. Slow smoked and served up by Sonny's Barbecue. Local pit masters since 68.
They smoke it slow, and they know they got to deliver whenever you come in hungry, and they make sure that they've got a good spread, whatever it might be, your favorite size, your favorite, be it the brisket, ribs, turkey, chicken, pork, whatever it might be, you can definitely enjoy all of it right there at any one of your local Sonny's. Make sure you check them out. So this is only 5 years ago, folks. Only 5 years ago that Joe Burrow and company beat the tar out of Oklahoma in a college football playoff semifinal, right? Just a half decade ago.
Yeah.
They smoked them. Oklahoma has not been able to win on that stage, and now they walk into the SEC. Are they ready for what they're going to see on a week-in, week-out basis? We don't know. Brent Venables is just as aware as anybody of what the SEC has every Saturday. But the challenge is even mightier when you step in and you have to do it consistently from Saturday to Saturday, from September to December, to see whether or not you can go toe-to-toe with the conference that plays the best football in America. And that's what I want to find out, because when they've gone up on that big stage, they've not been successful before. Now, that's on at the end of the road. We'll find out if they can do it game in, game out, in season as a regular member of the Southeastern Conference.
If you're willing to say Texas can win the SEC, which a lot of people are right now, how could you not be willing to say that Oklahoma could too?
Yeah.
Because, if you really want to look at it, because they beat Texas last year.
Yeah.
Now, that was with Dylan Gabriel, who's now at Oregon, and that's going to be a loss for them. They love Jackson Arnold. They think Jackson Arnold is going to be an elite player. And if he is that kind of player they think he's going to be, they're going to be tough for people to beat. They're very good on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, it's funny. Who's the kid that is their star linebacker that follows in the footsteps of all the other great ones that they've had?
Danny Stutzman.
Yeah, and he could be a stud, Stutzman.
He is a stud.
Yeah, and so they have good players. And Brent Venables went from a disastrous start in his first head coaching gig to a pretty respectable year this past year. But that's the wonder, is can they do it on a week-in, week-out basis? Can Texas do it? And I can't wait, because there's no reason to think those two programs aren't just as good as every other SEC program out there. There's no reason to think.
I bet JR wants to call right now and scream, "Are you kidding me? Can Oklahoma?" He's probably saying, "Can Oklahoma do it? If Texas can do it, then Oklahoma, which has just beat the tar out of Texas in the last 2 decades, why wouldn't they?"
Yeah, well, let me clarify this, especially in the name of the great JR. The only reason I bring up Oklahoma as not being able to get the job done on that stage is because they've been there more often than Texas.
Yeah.
so that means they've accomplished more than Texas.
Well, not only that, to be honest, not many teams have been able to fare on that stage against the SEC.
Right. And so the biggest worry of all college football fans out there, or the ones that are trying to figure out how big this college football playoff should or could be, is in a 4-team semifinal setting.
Right.
More often than not, that other team got their butt beat outside of the SEC.
Yeah.
They got their butt beat. Now, Clemson got theirs. We know that Clemson claimed a couple titles.
Ohio State got theirs. Michigan got theirs.
Yeah. And Michigan is now the most recent. But TCU got the biggest whooping ever in a national championship game. Michigan State. We can go down to Washington. We can go down to Oklahoma. We can go to all these other teams that just got popped in semifinal settings. Now, we've had other great games. Ohio State and Georgia, going back to the C.J. Stroud game. That was a hell of a game. And so it can even out to where we see more good than bad when we get to the round of 16, round of 8.
I mean, again, it's more games means more chances for somebody to play poorly that day. Georgia lost to Alabama in the SEC championship game. They had no business losing that game. They lost because they didn't play well. So if for some reason or another, somebody doesn't play well, and then the other team plays at the top level, you're going to get an upset in the playoff.
Yeah.
That's going to happen.
Yeah. All right, real quick, as we wrap ours up, the Jags today just kind of getting tighter and tighter on both sides of the ball, looking pretty good. Tank Bigsby is a guy that we heard from that we'll make sure we hear. You get to hear that conversation tomorrow because we missed it today. We were just bouncing around having fun. But you're going to see a lot of Tank and others like Dearness Johnson and Keelan Robinson and a handful of these guys Saturday night. And they're all going to be given an opportunity to see if they can make enough plays to make this roster. Who's the cat is it 36? Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
He's another one of the guys. You made him a nice play today, and he breaks through. Nice. It was, I want to say, center guard gap. Nice couple of blocks. Coast right into the end zone. He's turning around. He's getting high fives from his offensive line. He's like, let's go. And so they are starting to crank and feel like they could be a decent football.
Yeah, I also think guys like Keelan Robinson, I mean, he's not going to make the team, but he's playing now to make the practice squad, which is you get a nice amount of money on the practice squad.
Well, if we didn't necessarily dig back in our roster.
I shouldn't say he's not going to make the team, but he's a long shot to make the team.
Yeah, we didn't dig in. We'll do a little bit more of our roster cut downs, looking at the position groups tomorrow and Friday going into the game. But right now, you're looking at Devin Duvernay, who is your main kick returner, your main punt returner. And then after that, you can go Parker Washington because there's definitely a possibility of him being one of the guys that will have an opportunity. But don't ignore Keelan Robinson because that's a guy that with the way the kickoff rule – oh, this is perfect. This is a perfect segue. With the way the kickoff rules work, that guy may have more of an impact than you know. And speaking of a guy has more impact than you know.
Now, the 2-minute drill, brought to you by Injury Care Centers, the exclusive provider of BioTarget regenerative therapy for pain. Visit GoBioTarget.com for a location near you.
The embedded and shredded, he makes an impact, okay?
He does.
There's no doubt in my mind. And I feel like right now, I've got a lot of nicknames for my dude, but he's the king of the kickoff, okay?
Let's do it.
You are.
There's going to be a coach that gets fired this year. A head coach in the NFL will lose his job because he didn't make the playoffs by a game.
Yeah.
And they will have lost 2 games because of this kickoff rule because they did not manage it correctly. I guarantee you it's going to happen.
You have made me more interested in the possibilities of the kickoff. And like I think you were saying this yesterday, the day before. Most of these coaches, they're conservative by DNA. They may abandon it and just kick it through and say, the hell with it.
That's what I would do.
But if you can take advantage of it, and all you got to do is break one line.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know why anyone would kick to the Jags and let Devin Duvernay break your heart. I mean, he's a phenomenal returner. Yeah. And I mean, I was talking to him today about it. It's one level. I'm like, am I missing something here? Because it pretty much looks like if the returner breaks through the first level, there's no safety mechanism to. It's over. It now becomes man versus man, an elite returner against your kicker.
Yeah.
I mean,
and no scope.
What you got like that's like 500 to 1 odds that the kicker is going to make that play.
And by the way, I love the look of Duvernay. And if you go back and you see him in a Ravens uniform, he's got that lean. When he has that crease, we're talking Jets.
Absolutely, and he was a great punt returner too. His career average is 12.8. It's odd. He's yet to take one back as a punt returner, but he's had multiple big returns as evidenced by his 12.8 average. But he has broken 2 kick returns, which you would think it'd be flip-flop because teams haven't really been trying to kick to him. But he still has had a couple in his career. I would be shocked if opponents kick to the Jaguars. He's gonna take 2 or 3 back this year, and he won't be alone in that. I think last year there were 2 players that qualified for kickoff return leaders because there was only 2 players in the league that had more than 20, and that's what you have to qualify. So I mean, this year I think you're gonna have 6, 7, 8, 9 guys have multiple kick return touchdowns.
The year of the returns, what you're saying?
I think so because it's great that they brought it back in play. But it is going to be so impossible to defend, I think, routinely, that coaches are, by the time we get to October, it's just going to be, just kick it out, and we'll give it to them at the 30. I could be wrong, but that's how I foresee it.
But as freaky as coaches are when it comes to this, I don't know that many of them that want to let the other team start at the 30.
It's not. And you could try to, they've got all these weird nuances to it. So you could try and let your kicker bounce it into the end zone. So have it land but not be fielded. So something of a line drive, but it lands in the landing zone. It bounces. It rolls through the end zone. Now it's only to the 20.
Okay.
So you could see some experimentation with that. But the problem is, look, if you line drive it and the returner does field it, you now got to tackle them.
Oh, yeah, it's on.
Yeah, I think it's going to be fantastic in terms of the excitement. So, yeah, we'll get to that today. I had a chance to interview Devin Duvernay after practice, and Brett Hastings is going to join us as well at 4:25 to talk about the judge throwing out that verdict, for the NFL and the DirecTV. So we'll get Brett's expertise on that as well. So it should be a fun Frangie show coming up.
What's the Jags record for kick returns in a season, by the way, for touchdowns?
I would think. Has anybody done more than one in a season? You think? Did Whitted? I'm trying to think. They've had Jadon Mickens had a nice 2017, right? But that was more punt.
And Agnew didn't.
Yeah. Agnew, I don't know that he had 2 in a year.
He might have had a punt and a kickoff, but not 2 kickoffs.
Maybe.
Yeah.
He had the one that was brilliant, the 109-yarder.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
I mean, that was a phenomenal play. I'm trying to think. And
so what you're saying is not only will it be the year of the kickoff, but it's going to be a record-setting year.
I would say if Devin Duvernay doesn't own every kickoff record by the time this season is over, then I would consider that to be a massive disappointment.
See how I set you up like that?
Yeah,
I
massive
literally just throw you that softball.
Yeah. I mean, and every team should feel that way. I mean,
your number 12 jersey.
Yeah, I mean, it takes a crease and it's a touchdown.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right, Brody.
Thank you, guys.
We will be talking tomorrow with all of y'all at noon. So make sure that you plug it in. XL Primetime on Thursdays at noon. You got the Frangie Show coming up next, thanks to the Golf Club of Southampton on a beautiful Wednesday.
Everyone wants to doubt Jacksonville. Never doubt Jacksonville.